What is going on, Headliner Nation? A little impromptu live stream. Sitting here at my desk, I had about an hour and a half or so, and figured why not log on and talk to the community a little bit. Really going to be spending the next hour and a half or so just talking about some draft strategy, anything player questions that you have, going to have some fun just hanging out with you, the community. And we're going to give it a few minutes to let some people start rolling in here, because if I had to guess, within a few minutes, the chat's going to start going pretty crazy. Season right around the corner-ish. I mean, people getting excited, right? A lot of people getting excited for sure. Look, it wouldn't be a Headliners video if Brian AJC didn't leave a comment that's just ... Dude is next level when it comes to commitment of leaving the same comment on every single video. Brian, myself and Kyle can't wait until we actually see some words in a comment from you. I see a lot of people popping in. Who, man? What's going on? I see you out there as well. It just asked me if I wanted to insert an ad. No, I don't want to insert an ad right now. Loving my background. I appreciate it. Still got the Chubb. I got a lot of Jamar Chase over here, which is definitely good. I wish I could turn the camera around, but you guys have probably seen, I posted on the community tab maybe a couple weeks ago now. I got a lot of stuff that we're still giving away, and that's why you want to hang out right here. Let me pop this chat out so I can actually see it in my face. All up in this region here. All right. There we go. Now I can see it. What do you guys want to talk about? Rodrigo says he's a headliner. I see you, Rodrigo. Kyle's in the chat. I don't want to insert anything, Kyle, anywhere. Not right now. It's hot in Arizona, big dog. I have no doubts. When I was there a couple weeks ago, I almost subjected Kyle to heat stroke. Dude was in the sun playing golf with me for like an hour, Kyle. I think by hole 7, we thought we were going to die. And that was a couple weeks ago. I'm sure it's hotter now. All aboard the ETN hype train, JFK. To an extent, we don't want to get it so out of control that his ADP is crazy. And then it's just like a little bit too risky. Pop this chat out. Is that what the kids are calling it now? Brian? It's literally the chat that you guys, I can pop it out of my screen. Never mind. You don't. Y'all are about as mature as I am. Okay, so I can guarantee that you probably have no idea what I'm talking about, nor do you care. Let's see. What else do we have? What is the best draft spot in 10 to 12 man leagues? Devon Rogers. First off, congratulations on being a member of Holden Chubb. Appreciate the members out there. You can see their names highlighted in green. Greatly appreciate that for supporting the channel here throughout the offseason. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Best spot. Honestly, if I can't get one of the first 3 spots, first, second, or third, I'm kind of holding off and really wanting somewhere in that 10, 11, 12 range, depending on your league size, 8, 9, 10. I either want to be at the very end or right at the beginning. Being in the middle this year just leaves to a lot of questions. And I find myself in the middle rounds, maybe rounds 3, 4, 5, with some harder decisions if I'm in one of those middle picks. So I want to give me a bookend spot. Kyle is out there somewhere. Whether he's really paying attention or he just wanted to make fun of me for a second, that's another question. Red Hulk, 10-team, 2QB PPR league, ideal spots to grab my 2 quarterbacks. This is what I say for 2 quarterback leagues. Listen up, all you Superflexers out there, and I'm not talking about these types of guns. I'm talking about Superflex leagues. It's really important to pay attention to your other league mates, because every Superflex league is different. Some people, they go crazy quarterbacks early. I'm watching the draft board. I'm watching to see when other quarterbacks are going off the board. If I'm in that middle to late first and everybody in the first is taking a quarterback, more than likely I will too. If everybody else is kind of holding off, I'll hold off with the pack. Ideally, I would prefer to not get my quarterbacks until rounds 2 and 5 or so. It just really depends on the league, though. If they're staying on the board, if there's plenty of quarterbacks available, then load up on those running backs and wide receivers. There's plenty of quarterbacks. It's like a position that's like 20 to 25 deep this year. See here. What else do we got? Whatever happened to Swag Rich? He's around, Ian. I try to keep him bottled up as much as I can here in the off season, so everybody just, he has a tendency to offend people. He offends people from time to time, more so what he flashes under the robe. That's a different story. OEG, which RB are you targeting in the mid to late first round? Kind of depends, right? I mean, it depends who falls. Obviously, you guys know I'm a Nick Chubb guy, hoping that he kind of stays in that beginning of the second round ADP-ish. Like ourselves, some Joe Mixon. We like Austin Eckler. I'm not opposed to Najee Harris there at the end of the first. There's plenty of options, but there's a lot of risk involved with it, right? I mean, what about DeAndre Swift? I don't know if I want to take that risk in the first. What about Alvin Kamara? Right now, I don't know if I want to take that in the first with the off-field pending assault charge. Aaron Jones in the end of the first, I don't mind. Javonte Williams, kind of hoping for second round-ish at best. Leonard Fournette. How about Leonard Fournette getting a big jump up in volume, though, with Gronk announcing that he is retired for right now, right? For right now, Gronk is retired, which means more targets going the way, maybe out of the backfield to Leonard Fournette. Russell Gage going to get a bump there. We already like ourselves some Mike Evans as well. Do I think Derek Carr is a sleeper QB? Tariq Royster, 100%. I made a video a couple weeks ago where I said I think he's finished right around quarterback 13, 12 to 13 or so over the last couple years. This is the year dude could break into the top 10. Mark, just want to say, loving the offseason content. Just need to remember not to panic on draft day. 100%, Mark. Don't panic on draft day. Don't do that. When we prepare all offseason, once we get to the draft, it's easy money, right? We're just taking money from people by that point. No one wants to see Little Rich. That's right, Brian. Ain't that the truth? Thoughts on Brandon Cooks and Mike Williams, Rodrigo? Brandon Cooks criminally slept on as of right now. Dude gets no respect and is really, honestly, if we're being truthful here and we're not Texans fans, the clear number one to get 130 plus targets in Houston. Mike Williams, we saw what he was capable of last year. Mike Williams is a little bit more boom or bust, though, because when you think of Mike Williams and what he does on the field, he excels in those big plays, right? The 50-50 balls, the jump balls, the big chunk yardage. He's not really known for a weekly volume guy. That's Keenan Allen. That's Austin Eckler. So if he doesn't get that big play, a little bit more boom or bust. Can the big plays be more consistent this year than last year? I don't think so. So he's going to be a little bit more up and down. If I'm looking for more consistency, it's Brandon Cooks for me right now. Levi, what's going on, Levi? If you can get Mixon, Jones, or Mixon, double Mixon, CD and PPR, what do you personally do? So are you asking, do I get Jones and Mixon, or do I get one of those running backs in CD Lamb? I don't know exactly what you're asking there. Personally, if I can get Aaron Jones and Joe Mixon, sign me up for that 100% of the time. You can find starting wide receivers in fantasy football into the late mid rounds this year. So I'm not overly concerned with heavy. You just wait till tomorrow's video. I just spent the last few hours researching tomorrow's video. Who wants to know? Does anybody want to know by a show of a hand emoji, raising their hand, want to know what tomorrow's video topic is? If you want a spoiler, I'll tell you. Bukowski, how do you like your mock draft on Tuesday this offseason? Honestly, we're gonna discuss this in future videos, but I love mock drafting with the community for sure. But if people don't show up to the mock drafts and they still claim a team and we have somebody auto drafting, I can't put it on YouTube because we had one team take like 6 quarterbacks and they were auto drafting. I can't do that. I will get annihilated on YouTube. I just can't have that. Got to make sure that if you get into one of our mock drafts this offseason, that you show up for sure. Leandre Nicholson, welcome to Holding Chubb. Appreciate you. The memberships here, I greatly appreciate. I can't thank you guys enough from both me, Kyle, Chris, the Doc, Taylor, the Lone Boner. All of us greatly appreciate the memberships. It allows us to do a lot of things throughout the offseason that YouTube doesn't allow us to do because views are a lot lower. So greatly appreciate that. Anybody wanting to hop in there, maybe I can run a giveaway. Should I run a giveaway? I mean, I give things away like every day. How many new members do we need to get in order to do a giveaway? I didn't even think about that, but if we want to, we can. So I see some hand-raising emojis. Okay. Here's what we're discussing, because I see this all the time in the comment section, and it's somewhat like I just wish I could just reach through my phone sometimes or the keyboard and be like, oh, listen when we're talking, because so many people are enamored with wide receivers early this year. And don't get me wrong, I may be one of the biggest Jamar Chase fans there is. I mean, I got stacks of rookie cards behind me. I have a full-size, framed jersey. Love me some Jamar Chase. But what makes all these wide receivers as of late so valuable? What made Cooper Kupp a value to you last year? What made Deebo Samuel a league winner for a lot of you? It's because you got him in the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th round. That's why. Taking people in the first round doesn't guarantee you, especially wide receivers, that they're going to finish in the top 12. In tomorrow's episode, I went back 5 years and pulled data on running backs and wide receivers. The top 12 running backs that were drafted, where did they end up finishing? And then I put the top 12 overall wide receivers at year end and what round were they drafted in. You're going to be shocked when you start to see some of that data come out. Christian Ledesma, drafting 6th in PPR. What format should I go? I don't care if it's standard, half PPR, full PPR, tight end premium, whatever it is. As long as it's not Superflex, I got to go running back early. I have to. I'm not going to lock myself into 3 straight running backs or 2 running backs and 2 wide receivers and then a tight end. I'm not going to lock myself into positions in certain rounds, but I will say in that first round, especially at pick number 6, more than likely, I'm going running back. Now, in a PPR league, you can probably say that maybe Austin Eckler will be off the board. I don't care that Derrick Henry doesn't catch passes. I don't care that Nick Chubb doesn't catch passes. They're still first-round picks, in my opinion. They finish there every single year despite not catching passes. It's like some urban myth that you have to catch passes in PPR leagues or I have to take wide receivers. That is so not the case. Going to be another banger, Kenny. You better believe it. Would you draft Cooks over the Denver wide receivers? I think Cooks is safer, Roland, because which Denver wide receiver is it going to be? Is it going to be Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, Tim Patrick? Is it more so the running backs out of the backfield? I think with Cooks, we know the clear path to targets is there. In Denver, we're kind of hoping and guessing. That video sounds dope. You know what it's going to be, Adam? That video tomorrow, that's what it's going to be. 100%. Andy. Oh, Andy, I got to pause this because I got to sound out your last name, Andy. Is it Kosielski? Andy Kosielski? Am I even close? Andy, I appreciate you, and I apologize for not being able to pronounce that correctly if I totally butchered it. Need 2. In a 12-team PPR, start 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, and a flex. Eckler in the 5th, and keep only this year. The next 3 I can keep this year and next year are Pittman in the 9th, Gabe Davis in the 13th, JK in the 14th. Bills Mafia own number 6 pick. Now, if you have a team that can compete this year, and you are championship, like on the verge of a championship, there's very few teams that can really contend with you, then I'm keeping Eckler and I'm making one more run. If you have a team full of young talent that you think is going to be able to produce for multiple years in a row, then I gamble and I go with J.K. Dobbins in the 14th at a great value, and you get him for a few more years. It just all depends what your overall roster looks like. If you're ready to win this year and you got some aging guys on your team that may start putting you out of contention in the future, then I'm going to go with Eckler and make one last run at it. Unpause chat. Would you take Najee Harris or Nick Chubb? Antonio Nicosia. I like both of them, honestly. I have no issues with either one of them. If I'm looking at the overall situation, an argument can be made for both sides, right? Najee Harris is going to get a ton of volume with more than likely either Mitch Trubisky or a rookie quarterback, probably going to be the rookie at some point throughout the season. So he could get a lot of checkdowns, a lot of work to take some of the pressure off the quarterback position. Nick Chubb plays on a team with minimal pass catching weapons aside from Amari Cooper. Yeah, they got Kareem Hunt, but they've coexisted there fine for years together. The biggest question mark there is what happens at quarterback. Is it Deshaun Watson? It's not going to be Baker Mayfield. Or is it Jacoby Brissett? Either way, they're going to have to run the ball a lot again. Me, personally, kind of a toss-up, right? I think it's pretty close. I'll probably give the slight edge to Naji as of right now, but it's very minimal. What happened? What's going on? Is it a horrible strategy to triple stack with the Chargers? Are they the only viable triple stack team this year? Okay, very, very rarely will I triple stack. And I'll tell you why. Because if that team has a bad game, your fantasy team has just lost. Oh, wait a second. Andy says, Kochalski. Sorry, Andy. The Chargers, the Bucks even this year. I don't mind triple stacking the Bucks if you got Brady, Evans, and Fournette. I wouldn't hate that. But the Chargers with Herbert, Eckler, and either Keenan or Mike Williams, I don't hate that either. There's very few teams. If you're going to do this, you need to make sure that you pick players that have like that top 10 potential, regardless of being on the same team or not. I think we can all agree that Justin Herbert, Austin Eckler, and Keenan Allen all have top 12 potential at their position. So I can't hate the triple stack there whatsoever. JFK, no one talks about how fading running backs in the draft doesn't work if others in your league are doing that too. It just doesn't work. In 20 plus years of experience, it does not work from my perspective. Mason, I just want to say you're eclectic. Sure was straight fire. Yeah, that shirt I got off of Viridian Global. I like me some Austin Eckler. I'm an Eckler fan. Leandre, what are your thoughts on Cameron Brate now that Gronk is retired? Unless Gronk makes an announcement that he's coming back again, Cameron Brate is somebody who was already looked at heavily in the red zone by Tom Brady. We know Brady likes his tight ends. We know that Chris Godwin's not going to be 100%. Cameron Brate is going to shoot up draft boards, but he's still going to be a great, great value later on if you decide to kind of punt the top positions or the top names there at the tight end position. Buck, is Justin Jefferson getting too much love in mocks? People are falling in love, Buck, with young wide receivers. I mean, it's just because of what we've seen the past couple years with the Justin Jeffersons, with the Jamar Chases. We can't just, we kind of come to expect it, right? We expect that all these rookies are just going to explode every single year, and their ADP just gets so high that I'm not trying to find or overdraft a rookie when I'm trying to find the Cooper Kupp that's in this year's 4th round. Right? Last year we had Cooper Kupp as a must-have wide receiver. A lot of that had to do with where he was being drafted as ADP in the back half of the 4th. Like, those are league-winning guys. Like, those, when you find the Cooper Kupps and the Deebo Samuels in the draft at the wide receiver position, those are the guys that are league winners. Very rarely is drafting a guy in the 1st round at the wide receiver position result in him being a league winner for your fantasy team. Very rarely. Australia in the house. What's going on, Anton? Can you please explain to me why Deshaun Watson has a job in the NFL? If I did what he did at work, I would be so getting fired. Why is the NFL different? That's a great question. Unfortunately, I have no answers for that. I'm just here to go with the flow. Anton, I agree that I probably wouldn't be at work either, but it's out of our hands, so I don't let it get to me too much because there's nothing I can do to change it, unfortunately. My platform is not quite big enough yet. If we could get to I want to get to network TV level to when I say something, it has a little bit more weight because then it means something. Now I say and it just gets lost in the internet forever. Sam T, Dynasty Superflex, who would you keep, Burrow or Barkley? I'm keeping CD, Dobbins, and Chubb. If this is a Dynasty Superflex, I'm keeping Joe Burrow over Saquon Barkley. I know I'm one of the only outliers on this team. One of the only outliers on the entire Headliners team that is not on board with Saquon Barkley. Burn me once, shame on you. Burn me twice, shame on me. Burn me 3 times, hell no. Not doing that. I just can't. What has drastically changed in that offense besides the coaching staff? Daniel Jones is still under center. That's a problem. I mean, the offensive line is better, but are they great? No. Saquon Barkley has shown no explosiveness over the last couple years. He's shown no efficiency the last couple years, so you know he needs a lot of volume, and with a lot of volume comes injuries. So I'm just not on board with Saquon. If he explodes, I love it because it's good for football, right? A explosive big play Saquon Barkley is very exciting to watch from a football fan's perspective, and I will gladly pass over him on draft day and let somebody else bask in the glory if it happens. Because there's other guys that I just feel a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more safe with than risking it again with Saquon. He was a flash of greatness, right, Hilda? He was. I mean, dude is talented. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he's not horrible. He's just in a bad situation. He can't stay healthy. And, racking up lower leg injuries, ankles, knees, whatever it is, as a running back just takes its toll. Buck, why? But why? Why is he primed this year? What's the difference between this year and the last couple years? He's been primed every year. Every year he's primed. Let's see. Bucks wide receiver 2 is Jareth Stearns. It's really not. It's Russell Gage. It's Russell Gage. Russell Gage could see over 130 targets this year. That's a lot. Rashad Penny is primed. He is, but another reason why we're not going all in. I mean, if you've seen my shows the last couple of weeks on explosiveness and efficiency, Rashad Penny is at the top of all these lists. But there's a reason his ADP is in the 10th round. It's because there's a lot of risk associated with having Rashad Penny and a newly drafted Kenneth Walker. So there's some issues with that. Gage going to eat. Sapper227, appreciate you. Hey, Jake, I'm in a 16-team half PPR. What's the best strategy for drafting? I got lucky last year with having Taylor, Kupp, Deebo, messed up with Gibson. I understand that the Gibson didn't hit, but Gibson was still a running back 1, right? I think a lot of times, and I'll answer your question here in a second, a lot of times people look at players and they expect 20 points a week every single week, and if they don't get it, they're a bust. Antonio Gibson didn't have a great week, or a great year, but he didn't have a bad year. Sure, it definitely could have been a lot better, but it was still a running back 1, and the more of those we can have, the better. As far as your strategy for this year, in a 16-team league, running backs are going to go thin by about round 3 or so. If you wait till longer than that, you're going to be overly reliant on guys that have a lot of risk, right? And I personally, I want the beginning of my draft to be a little bit on the verge of more safe. I want a firm foundation. I don't want to take all the risk up front, because if I do all that risk up front and it doesn't work out, my season is trying to play catch up. I want a solid foundation on my roster. I want 20 touch guys. I want guys who are not always battling injuries. Whatever it may be, I've got to have those solid guys up front and then take a little bit more risk later on, because I know I have that early stability. It's worked out for a long time. It's one of the reasons why I like Nick Chubb, right? Is he going to be the flashiest guy? Is he going to score 15, 20 touchdowns? Is he going to score 25 points a week? No, but I know I can put him in my lineup and damn near get close to 15 a week. And I have a good foundation. Do I see Damian Harris making his way into the top 10 this season? I think he's verge. Verge top 10 may be a little high. Top 12 to 15, can definitely see that. Would you be crazy for thinking Mixon at 4? No, Chris, that's not crazy. Jeff Garcia, been a member for 14 months. Back to back, Jeff Garcia and Brad Booth, 14-month members. Can we get a round of applause for them being members for so long? Appreciate you guys. First one, Jeff. What up, Jake? Bring that fire. Always, Jeff, always bringing the fire. Even though it's hotter than balls in this room right now. You can see the sun coming through. It's like baking me in here. I got sweat. Never mind. Have a 2-keeper league looking at Eckler and was going to keep Hopkins, but other options are Mixon, Ertz, and Allen. So it's a 2-keeper league, and you're going to keep Austin Eckler for sure. The other options, Mixon, Ertz, or Allen, for me, it's 100% Joe Mixon. And I'm not even thinking twice about it. Brad Booth says, what up, Jake? Loving all the offseason content you guys are putting out. I got a trade offer today for Ramondre and a 2023 second for Michael Carter, is that good? I don't hate it because more than likely you're not reliant on Michael Carter anyway. So you're not going to be overly reliant on Ramondre Stevenson. I think Stevenson probably sees more overall touches this year than Carter. Carter may be a little bit more involved in the passing game in New York, but gaining an extra pick next year, I think kind of puts it a little bit over the top, and I don't mind that trade. I don't know if it really benefits your team at all. I don't think you're getting any better because of it, at least for right now. It may make you better in a couple years, but overall, I don't hate that trade. What was this question up here? Somebody said something. I can't find it. Somebody was replying to somebody named Slapper. I didn't see the question, though. Let's see. Could you win with first 3 wide receiver picks? I mean, can you? Sure. The odds of that happening? Probably a lot lower than you would like to think. And that's what a lot of people, I don't think realize. Like, you could draft a quarterback in the first round and still win your league because just the way things happen or the way things fall. It's not like there's a set in stone, you must do it this way. Obvious, we can't see injuries and all kinds of things, bad weather games, everything that affects the outcome of NFL games. But when you look at statistics and when you look at probabilities, things that you really need to look at in fantasy football, I'm trying to go the route of the ways that give me the best possible chance of winning. You're going to see that in tomorrow's video when I talk about why, everybody talks about running backs always bust in the first round. Just wait till I show you the actual numbers tomorrow, and it's probably going to shock you because not as many of them bust as you may think. The Q. Great content, Nation, with Matt Patricia calling the plays. Will Harris and Stevenson get 450-plus touches? Headliner Nation Fantasy League champ. That's a lot. I don't know if I would go that high. Could they flirt with 400? Probably pretty close, right? But 450, I expect them to open up the offense a little bit more this year. With Mac Jones, they added Devontae Parker in the pass catching game, kind of gives them a true number one. Mac Jones in his second full season in that offense now should be able to take a step forward. So that may be a little high, but I'm not way out of the way for that. Let's see. When Jake has his hat on backwards, some real fantasy football dope is being dropped. David, when the hat goes backwards, good things happen. It's like going deep, right? It's like you have to turn the ignition to start a car, right? You have to push a button in some cars. This is the equivalent of me pushing the button. That, and I'm going bald, so I got to wear a hat because the lights will reflect off the dome and blind you. Brad, jalapeno cheddar Cheetos or flaming hot Cheetos? As long as we're not in a toilet paper shortage, I'm going flaming hot Cheetos. But I got to be careful with those. I'm getting older. I'm a fantasy football dope dealer with the hat backwards. I can see never mind. Derek Carr will be in the elite conversation after this year. Who would you put in that elite category right now? Kells 22. Okay, so he's going to be in the elite conversation. Who else would you consider to be in the elite conversation? Because I think a lot of people see the word elite as a little bit different. So I'll try to look for your comment there. Let me know what that is. And how the hell are there 210 people in here and only 58 likes? The hell. Joe Flacco is elite. Adam, don't make me tell you to get out. Adam. I hadn't even heard the name Joe Flacco in a while. Who is your biggest mid-round stock this year? Mine is Michael Thomas. Personally, I'd rather take a stab on DeAndre Hopkins than Michael Thomas. That's just me. At least I know after 6 weeks, DeAndre Hopkins is going to come back, be 100% healthy, and be in a high-powered offense. Personally. I'm not on... Kind of like Saquon Barkley, I'm not on the Michael Thomas bandwagon. He has basically given his own organization the finger for 2 years. And now all of a sudden they want to trust him again. I don't know. They brought in Jarvis Landry, who I love in that offense. They drafted Chris Olave. What happens with Alvin Kamara? You got Jameis under center. I'd rather take a stab on DeAndre Hopkins and have him sit on my bench for a couple weeks. Mark, what's for dinner? Rodrigo wants to know the sleepers for next season. Dude, I got to get through this season first. I got to get through 2022 before worrying about 2023 right now. I am head and shoulders and knees and toes deep in football for 2022. Olave has a good shot. I love Olave, but I love the talent. I just hope they don't squander it in New Orleans. 7th pick. This is for Brian Dutler. 7th pick. All 6 ADP standard running backs are taken. $1,000 league. Who do you pick? Okay, so you're saying that, I mean, every site's ADP is different. If I look at our ADP and I cross off the first 6, that leaves me with Mixon, Swift, Kamara, Jones, and Chubb as the next available options. I'm going in this order. Mixon, Jones, Chubb, Kamara, Swift. In those orders, if you're going by like a consensus ADP. Jake, when can we expect the draft guide to be released? Scheduled for July 1st. I mean, we could do that tonight or afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you're at. I got my phone handy right here. How about this? First off, oh crap, did you see that? Everybody's seen the Deebo helmet we're giving away, right? The full-size matte black Deebo Samuel helmet. Anybody who orders their pre-orders their draft guide by the end of June is entered into the giveaway. It's a signed Deebo helmet. I should have brought it over here. I'd stand up and go get it, but I don't have pants on. That's just going to be awkward. Just saying. I can't show that on the internet and expect to stay live. Somebody will flag it. Just Ellsworth, homie. Jake is the reason we all wake up in the morning. Well, let's work on that. Okay, let's work on getting you some more reasons to wake up. I appreciate that. Nothing but love. Helmet coloring is cool. Is fire? Dude, it is. The matte black. I'm going to get it. Hold on. I'll be right back. I'm not going to stand up, though, because that would be awkward. I'm going to slide this way. Still sliding. Try not to hit things. I got it. Coming back. Coming back. Here I am. All right. Dudes and dudettes, tell me that this right here is not straight fire. He even signed it in gold ink or gold Sharpie or whatever. You see that? Where's it at? Everything's backwards. Full-size matte black and gold Deebo helmet, giving it away to a random person who purchases their draft guide by the end of June. So if you haven't purchased yours yet, there's a link down below in the description. Drops July 1st. Gonna be shipping that off to somebody. Jason Kinney, what do you got to do to get it? We're picking a random person who pre-orders the draft guide. So if you want to pre-order yours right now during the show, I'll actually shout out your name right here on the internet, and I'll read off all the orders we get during the show. And then you're entered into the giveaway. Does Trey Sermon show up this year? I mean, technically, I think he's in the building, Jay. I don't think he's really someone we have to worry about. TD Price in the mix now as well. Elijah Mitchell going to get first crack, though. OEG pre-ordered back in November. That's hashtag legend right there. I would wear that while carrying out martial duties. Mark. I mean, I want to see you just wear it in the grocery store. Jake, a fans only. OMG. By the way, I want that helmet, dude. It's not the first time that somebody's asked me for my helmet. And Tom, appreciate you. How do you feel on Chubb? Very carefully, Landon. Very carefully. Got to be careful these days. It doesn't take much. Start another pandemic just to have an excuse to wear the helmet. I don't need an excuse. I mean, I think you guys could tell by my videos that I'm pretty not shy on things. I'll wear a helmet. I wear a child's helmet for the love of all things holy half the year. It's behind me. Jake, may I please have the Kittle ball? That Kittle ball? What are you going to do for it? What do you want the Kittle ball for? I would wear it to church, Sapper. That may be entertaining. Everybody's coming like, what's wrong with this guy? Like, you know how people at church, they shouldn't be like gossiping. You would be gossiped about. Lone Boner, Matt Galloway in the chat. OEG out there telling people to get the draft guide as well. I guess I should pull it up to see if anybody even orders it. We'll see. Let's see here. Pre-order it, and yes, you totally wear it in the supermarket. Vincent Banks, my comments, Jake. Vincent, did you have? Vincent, I see you up here. It says, Jake, help, when you're like clapping your hands. I have MT in the 7th and Akers in the 16th. I have 2 first-round picks, a 3rd, 4th, no 5th or 6th. How should I plan my first picks? It's half PPR. I have pick 3 and 4 in round 1. Okay. So you have the 3rd overall, the 4th overall, and then nothing in the 2nd, but you have 3rd, 4th, no 5th or 6th. Well, you have Cam Akers, who is not my favorite. I mean, running backs coming off of torn Achilles are just not overly high on my board, but at least you have one. I would definitely take another running back at the number 3 or 4 for sure, like 100%. Depends who's all being kept by other teams, of course, but one of those picks I absolutely have to go with another running back just to be safe. After that, it's best available, in my opinion, because you got 2 running backs, best available wide receivers, not going to reach for a tight end or a quarterback there. It's going to stick right there at running backs and wide receivers for me. Would you take Josh Allen if it was there in the 3rd round? No, Bug. I will not take a quarterback before round 5 at the extreme earliest. And even round 5, like I start to sweat a little bit because it makes me nervous. I'm one of those guys that I camp in the round 7 to 10 range for my quarterback. I just camp right there. Oh, wow. Got a couple orders to shout out. You guys want your name shouted out? We got Paul Cunningham. What's going on, Paul? Appreciate you. You are now entered in. Joseph Seacrest, you have been entered into the giveaway. Thank you so much for pre-ordering your draft guide. Matthew Winay. Is it Winay? Oh, and there's Matthew right there. Just got my draft guide. Matthew, I'm shouting you out right now. Appreciate you. And then Adam Staley, also appreciate you. You guys are going to enjoy it. Almost 600 virtual pages that we have spent the better half of about 6 weeks on. And there's how many of us? 7 of us. So yeah, it's a ton of info. And what we like the most about it really is we don't make videos off of what's in the draft guide. So if you get the draft guide, it's not something you're going to see in a video at any point. Now, we'll probably link some of our videos in the draft guide as like an easy reference to you, but that's not like what we rely on the content for. This is totally separate content. Shout out their credit card info, Brad. Come on, Brad. All right, first one up. No, just kidding. Can't do that. Smart move, people. You will not be disappointed. Appreciate that. My enemy 600 Holy Kittle Ball. Did somebody offer 600 for the Kittle Ball? And I missed it. 600 Holy Kittle Ball. I don't know. Did I miss somebody offering $600? Do we want to start an auction of things in my office? I mean, I'll gladly start a college fund for my kids finally if we want to start auctioning things off. Can you post a 10-man league non-PPR mock draft? At some point, we will have something like that this offseason for sure. Please talk about what round you take what positions. Colby, you don't do that. You don't ever lock yourselves into certain positions. It's like rule number 7 in the fantasy Bible. You don't ever lock yourselves into positions in certain rounds. Because when you do that, you find a way to miss on talent that has fallen further than it probably should have. The only thing that I will do, and even this is 80% of the time, is a running back in round 1. If I'm sitting at number 11 or 12, and literally 10 or 11 running backs have gone off the board and all my guys are gone, I'll still even go wide receiver, right? I'm not going to reach for running back 12 when wide receiver 1 is on the board. You know what I mean? But I'm always going to want those running backs early. So I'm not going to lock myself into it, but I'm still going to be a running back early guy. $50 for my hat. Dude, it's all sweaty. Dude, it's hot as balls in here right now. And I can hear the air running. I don't know why I'm sweating so much. Mr. Voodoo, does the draft guide take into account league settings and keepers? Great question. Really, the purpose of the draft guide is this, because we get a lot of questions just in general, in the comment section. Every single league can be set up differently, have different scoring settings, different roster settings, whatever it may be. So it makes it really hard to give actual league advice. So what we make sure that we do is we give you every piece of information that we can possibly find on every single player worth drafting. So that way, no matter your league settings or your roster construction, you have all the information on the players themselves. Then you can turn around and apply it to your league settings. So I would love to be able to say, oh yeah, you should do this, this, and this. But if I say that and you have different league settings, I don't want to give out bad advice to anybody. So we find it a little bit easier just to give you everything player related. That way you can always apply it to whatever it is that you have. You may play in 3 different leagues with 3 different settings. The draft guide can help you with all of them. $50 for the sweat. Awkward, Adam. VN, stop talking about the draft guide. How about VN? You could just leave if you don't want to hear about it. I didn't bring it up. People ask questions. I'm here to answer. Did you even look at the damn thumbnail, VN? It says I'm answering your questions. Somebody asked a question. If anybody wants me to ban VN, just let me know in the chat. Because then it's not going to be me banning him. I'm just acting on behalf of the community. Ron Navy. What's going on, Ron? Welcome to Holden Chubb. Appreciate you. Diesel Mayweather. Keeper League. Trying to shake up the teams. So for this year, we're going to 1. Keep Naji or Kupp. Oh, mother. I mean, I really, really want to go running backs because here's the reason is all these other teams are probably keeping running backs, right? So if you don't go running back, you're going to have like the end of the first round list to go off of. Do you know, I'll try to look for you down here, Diesel. Do you know who the other keepers are for the other teams? Is there going to be some running backs available? If you know the other keepers and there's a good handful of running backs that you're going to have a chance at that are still round 1-ish potential, then I keep Cooper Kupp. If everybody's keeping running backs and you're just going to have to like start off with somebody bottom of the list there in the first round, second round, I guess you could say, since this is your first round pick, then I'm going with Naji and playing it a little bit safe. I have a hard time not going that way. A lot of people tell me to ban VN. It's not coming from me. I'm not doing it. But if the community says to me, I'll put a damn poll up here if I have to. Let's see. Flame him. Hey, I'm here for the people. Dave the Flav. Jake, I'm the commission my league. I'm introducing keepers this year. How have you personally liked your keeper rules to be? Do you lose draft position following season or draft as normal? So what you're pretty much asking is if you're having a keeper, a lot of times the majority of the leagues that I play in, whatever, Jason, I see you, Jason. Whatever round he was drafted in the year prior is the draft pick that you would lose this year. So say you have Cooper Kupp, right? I would say that I believe he was a 4th round pick last year. So you would lose your 4th for Cooper this year, right? And then as you continue to, it makes it it helps reward the players that did their homework and drafted the players in the right rounds at the right times in the right years. That's my opinion. Jason out there just going, give it to him. Timothy says we'll give him one more chance. All right, Timothy. One more chance, right? Got OEG telling people to smash their Chubb against the like button. I'd like to see somebody record that and put it on Twitter. Jason says he loves this community. Jason, we love you right back. Live chat, let's go. Legendary, what's going on, Legendary? It's been a while. Chris out there he's jamming. Chris, are you in the car, Chris Jensen, by chance? Are you at home? Can you just crank the speakers up to the intro songs and let the people hear that you're a fucking headliner? Watch what you ask for. Yeah, exactly. Right. Who's the one player that you're not leaving drafts without? For me, last. I don't know if it cut off the rest of your question there. That I'm not leaving drafts without. I find myself this year not missing Damian Harris at all. Damian Harris, for me, is probably somebody that I will own on every single team. Right now, his ADP is still in the 8th round, which is crazy stupid. I'll take him in the 6th in order to not miss him if I can. I think I was Verge top 12 last year. What really changed? The offense got better, and it will pull defenders outside of the box. Like, to me, Damian Harris, no-brainer. How do you feel about getting Andrews and Kelsey in the 2nd round? Well, definitely don't get both of them. Personally, I just don't find myself with those guys very often. I would personally rather wait on tight end and get some of these guys at the end of the list and maybe spend 2 late round picks on a couple guys that I'm hoping will hit, like the likes of Irv Smith, Cole Kmet, Hunter Henry. Hell, you can even drop all the way down to Hayden Hurst is somebody who I'd take a shot on. We saw CJ Who's Your Mama in Cincinnati last year, be fed by Burrow from time to time, and now that's going to be Hayden Hurst. No more CJ Uzomah. So I find myself getting more of those. Zach Ertz is somebody else who's falling a lot. His current ADP is in the 10th. I'll take Zach Ertz. I mean, just think about the target share he's going to get for the first 6 weeks. After that, it's anybody's ball game. Oh, a couple more shout outs here. Let's shout out, there it is, Leandre Nicholson. And then we got Dason Chang. All these guys are going to they're winning leagues this year. Glenn Smith and Mark Woods. Congratulations. You're already a head up on your competition by getting the draft guide. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for the support. How you feeling about the Muth? Adam, I like the Muth this year. Good question on the Muth. He's another guy. What's his ADP at? 11th round. I don't mind the Muth. I think either if it is Trubisky or Pickett, I think the Muth is utilized in the red zone this year, and I kind of like it. I like it a lot. Now, is he like a must-have guy for me? No. But those are the type of guys that I'll take a stab on late. Heck, I didn't even mention Cameron Brate, who's still down there. He's going to get a lot of targets from Tom Brady. There's just other guys that I don't find myself spending that early pick on tight end. Obviously, Travis Kelce is worth it, right? I mean, the guy's basically a wide receiver 1. I don't hate it. I just know there's other guys a little bit further down, and I'd rather have that depth at running back or wide receiver than the tight end early. Think Everett does what this year? Tyler, 750 yards and 7 touchdowns. Are you talking about Gerald Everett? If you're talking about Gerald Everett, I think the potential is definitely there in LA. The opposite LA for him, the Chargers. I do think there's an opportunity there to have something close to that for sure. 2 straight questions. How do I get the draft guide? There's a link down below in the description to our website, thefantasyheadliners.com. Available right there on our homepage. Plus, all the names I've shouted out are now in the drawing for the signed Deebo helmet, full-size matte black and gold Deebo helmet that were given away the end of June. Bateman and a 23rd second for Moore. Which Moore are we talking about? DJ Moore? It's got to be DJ Moore, right? I can't think of another Moore that would have that kind of pull. I'm personally probably keeping Bateman in the 23rd second. I'm going that way. I think Rashad Bateman's on pace for like 140 targets this year. No Hollywood Brown in that offense. Rashad Bateman, could just be peppered. DJ Moore right now has Sam Darnold throwing him the football. And Matt Rule calling plays that are stupid. Would you take Chubb 8th pick in the first round? Depending on who is left on the board, yes, James, I would. Why would you skip drafting a kicker or defense? I've heard this is a thing. Buck, great question. This is one of my favorite things to do, Buck, and this all has to do with when you draft your team. Hey, if you're looking for a cheat code, listen up right here. Depending when your league drafts, maybe it's the first or second week of August. Maybe it's even the third week of August. I'll go through my entire draft and I won't draft a kicker. A lot of times I'll draft a defense. There have been times where I haven't, if I've missed out on everybody that I wanted. But I won't do that, and I'll take extra running backs or wide receivers because you still have maybe 1 or 2 preseason games left and a week of practice leading up to the first week. What happens if you take a stab on somebody super, super late? Let me get a running back. Let me do this by example. So say, perfect example, right now you take a stab super late and draft yourself Darrell Henderson, I guess you could say. Is Darrell Henderson? You can go even super later than that. Maybe you draft Hassan Haskins, rookie in Tennessee, and something happens to Derrick Henry in the preseason. I would much rather have Hassan Haskins on the bottom of my bench, and then if nothing happens, if Henry's good to go, I can drop him for a kicker right before week 1. But I kind of give myself a little bit of leeway right there that just in case an injury happens for the next coming weeks, that I have another couple potential lottery tickets just sitting on the bottom of my bench. Once the first week comes around, if it didn't work out, no big deal. You drop them, you pick up a kicker. Maybe it did work out for you, and now they're going to get a bigger role because of an injury in the offseason. You just find somebody else on your bench at that time to drop for your kicker. I'm sure you'll have somebody at that point. Especially for everybody who continues to draft 2 quarterbacks or 2 tight ends, drop one of them. You don't need them. There's plenty of them out there to stream when needed. I want those extra lottery tickets. I am greedy. I am a greedy mofo, Buck. I want all the running backs and all the wide receivers. I want all that smoke. I want all, just throw it on my bench. If I can get it, I will take it. Is CMC worth taking in the top 5? Donquise? Not in my opinion. Obviously, he's got number 1 overall potential, right? 100%. When CMC plays, he's scoring you 20 points. It happens. But is CMC going to continue to get hurt? Like, it's just one of those things where you kind of got to risk, or, weigh it risk versus reward. In my opinion, a little bit too risky at that point. It's true, right? Matt Rule is horrible at it, Tyler, and he just points fingers at everybody else. Remember last year he fired his offensive coordinator, Joe Brady? It wasn't Joe Brady's fault, okay? Matt Rule's an idiot. I have no doubt that I could coach the offense of the Carolina Panthers and be more successful than what we saw last year because I have played Madden for 20 years. That's how little I think of the offense in Carolina. That and I am an absolute beast on the sticks with Madden. You cannot stop my offense. You just can't. You can only hope to contain it. I love how you guys are out there answering each other's questions and talking as a community. I love that. Am I a Panthers fan? No. I live in North Carolina, but I'm not a Panthers fan. I was born and raised in the desert of Arizona. I will always be a Cardinals fan, which I know is not much better with the way they're going, but I'll take Kingsbury over Rule any day. Hey, Jake, what do you think about Landry being the next Cooper Kupp from Tariq Royster? I don't know if I'd go that far. I don't think I'd go that far because I don't know if he sees the amount of receiving yards and touchdowns. Can he see the target share? 100%. Would not surprise me if we saw like Miami Dolphins Jarvis Landry this year where he's getting 100 receptions but not hitting 1,000 yards. I could see him be the guy just moving the chains and keeping the offense going but not getting the big plays, the big yardage, and the touchdowns, if that makes sense. Is this channel not fading Waddle at his current ADP? Let's see, his current ADP in the 3rd. Am I fading it? No. Am I actively going after it? No. Because a lot of people want to just, they look at it and they're like, oh, they got Tyreek Hill and they have Cedric Wilson and they have Mike Gesicki and 15 running backs. I don't care. Tua and Waddle are going to be able to coexist with Tyreek Hill just fine. You got to remember that Jalen Waddle can take a 5-yard slant 95 yards to the house. He has that big play upside just like a Tyreek Hill. If Tyreek Hill is the one stretching the field and they can put maybe a Cedric Wilson on the outside, that leaves Jalen Waddle on the slot, and there is nobody in the NFL that can contain Jalen Waddle in the slot. You can't do it. The guy is going to burn defenses everywhere. And if you have double coverage over the top to take away Tyreek Hill deep, Jalen Waddle is going to get single coverage and eat consistently. Now, do I think, I'm just as high on him now as I was before Tyreek Hill? No, he's dropped down a little bit, but I'm not just a complete fader of Jalen Waddle. I still think the guy easily gets 1,000 yards receiving and flirts with right around 80, 90 receptions. But the ceiling is huge. I mean, we're talking about a guy that can get 3 receptions and put up 120 yards and 2 touchdowns. You know what I mean? We're not talking about a guy that's like a plotter that's just reliant on 50-50 balls and a quarterback that just sucks. So I think Jalen Waddle, what we saw his role be last year, is similar this year. But look with the new coaching staff coming over from San Francisco and Mike McDaniel. They find ways to put people in positions to excel. Is Tyreek Hill going to be the next Deebo Samuel? No. Could he have a role at times like Deebo? For sure, but so can Jalen Waddle. It's not just going to be a full-time thing like we saw from Deebo. Broncos or Chargers this year? Man, that's going to be such a fun division to watch. I have to lean towards Herbie and the Chargers ever so slightly, but really that's just my own personal preference. I can't say anything negative about the Broncos to say that. I just love what the Chargers did on defense. Was I wrong in drafting JT and Henry first 2 rounds of FFPC? Best ball Superflex. Nope. I did get Stafford and Wentz as quarterbacks, so no, you're fine. 100%. I don't mind that whatsoever. Ron? No concerns with McDaniel? No, I think it's a good thing, Dryers. I mean, look at, what can you say about Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco, right? He's always found a way, whether he was in Atlanta or he was in San Francisco, to put players in great positions to succeed. A lot of times, take Philadelphia, for example. Can we say that Nick Sirianni last year did Jalen Hurts any favors, really? No, not really. You know what I mean? Put him in a position to not succeed. He was always put in a position to fail. Shanahan, McDaniel, coming from that same system, they find ways to move players around the field to create mismatches that lead to big plays. That's why everybody's trying to find who's the next Deebo, because they're very, forward thinking in San Francisco, and they come up with ways to be creative, and that's gonna translate right over to Miami. Do you think the running back heavy is a good strategy in a 16-team leagues or more of a balanced draft? I'm not going to say that I'm against balanced drafts at all, but I do think that running back heavy, quote unquote heavy, by me saying running back heavy, I want 3 running backs in the first 5 rounds. To me, that's running back heavy, and I'm still okay with that in that type of league. Tyler. Appreciate you, Tyler. What do we got? We got 203 people 207 people watching, only 133 likes. Not mad, I'm just disappointed. Any more shout-outs to do here? A couple more shout-outs. Gunnar Gibson. You're on your way to winning, Gunnar. Jay, I see your name all the time. Jay Lemoine? Jay Lemonet? Jay, if you're out there, can you tell me how to say it the right way? I see your name in the comment section from time to time, and I've probably just never said it right. Am I a believer in Tua? Kenneth, yes. I mean, what opportunity has Tua really had? Can anybody really say? I mean, honestly, his first season coming off of major hip injury, and then last year having to compete and be pulled, and he starts, then he doesn't start, and then he gets hurt, and then is he going to be pulled again? It's just crazy. You know what I mean? Michael Foss, I'll order a draft guide right now if I can get my question answered. Deal. Michael, need Headline Nation. Well, now I got to keep scrolling for it. Michael. JT and Eckler, RB1, and 2, Sutton, Judy, and Cooks wide receiver 1 and 2 in a 12-man Dynasty half PPR. Is this a winning start? Community, help me get this man's attention. I know he's busy, but needs some Jake. The part that worries me is you got both Denver wide receivers, and very rarely are you ever going to start both of them. So more than likely, you started with Eckler, JT, and then you can go Sutton and Cooks or Judy and Cooks based off of whoever Russ starts to favor when the season starts. Do I hate that? No, I don't hate that at all. I absolutely love having JT and Eckler. That right there is enough to make me almost go 6 to midnight, Michael. No way, even if I had pants on, I couldn't stand up by seeing that duo of running backs. The wide receivers, I'm a little bit iffy on. I'm hoping that Sutton starts off out. Sutton's kind of the guy that I have being the bigger play guy in that offense. Judy may rack up more receptions, but I know he's got some issues off the field as well. Cooks being the safer option, I don't mind that. I'd be curious to know who you had at tight end as well, or more depth on this team. But JT and Eckler, love it. Is it a winning start? I can't say that's. I don't know how you can get JT and Eckler and have it not be a win for sure. Hey, thanks, Adam. Adam Burnett, appreciate you. He just liked it. Sean McMillan says he believes the Raiders or Chargers win the AFC West. Isn't it crazy, though? You can literally look at all 4 of those teams, but they got a chance. When's the earliest you're drafting Aaron Jones in redraft? The absolute earliest? 8-ish, probably. In that 8 range. McCurley Wolf says, what up, my guy? Never caught a live stream, I don't think. Well, congratulations. You have caught one now. Am I watching the NBA draft? No, I'm not. I used to love the NBA. I grew up a basketball player. That's what I did my entire youth. And I was decent. Above decent. I was pretty good. I was okay. I loved the NBA. Now I can barely watch it. Every single play, somebody's complaining about a foul, or there is a foul called, or somebody's flopping. I just can't get into it. I want to, I just can't. I miss old school NBA. I'm just too old, I guess. I have old balls. G Money. What up, G Money? Been a member for 9 months. Appreciate you. In best ball, I drafted Chase, Brown, Pittman, Akers, Monty in that order. About to try to grab Burrow, then Hopkins and Damian Harris. Thoughts on the last 3? Absolutely. Dude, if you can get Burrow, Hopkins, and Damian Harris, banger. Get it, G Money. I love it. Not a big fan of A.J. Brown, if I'm being completely honest. A little worried about Akers. Banger got me. But you only asked for my thoughts on the last 3. Burrow, Hopkins, Harris. Love that. No, Jeremy, that's not good. You got me all choked up over here. It's the last time I drop a banger today. Wow. Mayfield starting for the Browns, traded or sitting, best guess from Brendan. Not starting for the Browns. I can't see that happening. I see Jacoby Brissett before I see Baker Mayfield. He's got to be traded, right? Got to be. Carolina or Seattle, one of them has to go over after Baker. Carolina, I think, makes more sense, in my opinion. Let's see here. What happening? Should I trade CMC in my first round for Eckler and their first round? Redraft league, and we don't figure out draft position until day of draft. From Gilbert, Arizona, by the way, Arizona representing. So should you trade Christian McCaffrey in your first rounder for Eckler and their first rounder? Yes, but I don't really know where the first round picks are at. I would imagine you have to move back, maybe. As long as you're not having to go from pick 2 or 3 to 12 or something. But yeah, I would rather have Eckler than CMC this year. I don't know if I want to take that risk. What else we got? James, Dropping that like bomb. Headliner Nation is the place to be all year long. You better believe it. Appreciate you, James. NBA is soft. It's just hard for me to watch. Like it's just not the same for me. Is Baker elite? No. Baker is not elite. Is Baker a capable starting quarterback in the NFL? Yes, I believe he is. Is he elite? No. Would I rather start Kyle at running back or wide receiver? I've seen him run before, so I'm probably going to say wide receiver. I don't know if he can change direction fast enough for running back. He's more of a straight line guy. Eduardo, what about Pittman? Love me some Michael Pittman this year. Love it. Thoughts on Carr? Love Carr. Carr's about to make a jump in other people's eyes, right? I mean, Carr's always been good. He's just never gotten the credit. I think he just gets a little bit more credit this year. Is Tater elite? How about this? I actually talked to Tater today. Who, by a show of hands, watched last year during the season on our Friday show, the tailgate episode? Show of hands if you watched last year's tailgate episode. That's where we had like the tailgate chef and all kinds of stuff like that. Did you guys watch that? I'm waiting to see. Pittman or A.J. Brown? Give me Pittman. I love A.J. Brown. I just don't know if there's enough passing offense to go around in Philadelphia from Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni. Like, no team threw the ball less than Philadelphia last year. And then they added A.J. Brown, still have Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert and 18 pass-catching running backs. Like, I just don't know how they spread the ball around and still have A.J. Brown be what he was in Tennessee. So a few people watched the tailgate episode. Miss me some tailgate shows. Well, the tailgate shows are coming back. But I think it's time that Tater and the tailgate chef do them together, where they're doing the beer reviews and the recipes and cooking at the same time. Because who wants to see Tater and the tailgate chef John Pickard drinking at the same time that they're cooking? It could be some pretty fun and entertaining stuff. So that may be what we do here this year. You were going to make some cooking episodes, but never did. Chris, we did them every single week last season. Every single Friday, a new cooking episode on the tailgate show came out every Friday. Am I avoiding Devontae Smith this year? Yes, I am. Michael Foss says he was a man of his word. And did I see it come through? And I'll be damned. Michael Foss is a man of his word. Michael Foss. Appreciate you, big man. Send me the address for the Deebo helmet. I think it's going to be funny, Sapper, to see Tater and John there together, drinking as they're cooking. Could be some must-watch television right there. Really, Chris, if you go... I know it's past the fact, but if you go onto the channel under our videos and scroll back to the season, every Friday was something called the Tailgate episode. In that episode, I did end of the week news. I did a Pristine auction mystery box opening. I did the Tailgate chef. We did DFS picks of the week and point spread picks. And then Tater had his beer review. Every Friday we did that show. So there's a different recipe every Friday. Tiger Man here for the first time. Welcome to the nation, Tiger Man. Can we get a hashtag Tiger in the chat for him joining the nation here? All the food will be pickled. It may be, right? Are you going all in for these 23 draft picks? Not all in, but I'm not easily selling them, Lions. Like, I'm not actively just trying to get rid of them. My thought process for Dynasty is a little bit different than most people's, and I understand that. I'm not always trying to just build for the future because, damn it, I want to win every single year. So I'm not the guy that's always trying to hoard draft picks and stuff. I want a contender every year. I don't want to just be like, oh, I got to rebuild for the next 2 or 3 years. I just don't have that mentality. I don't care. Like, I'm always want to win. I'm never trying to rebuild. Joseph Winkler, can I have a job? Do you have to be paid for it? James says the tailgate shows were bangers. You better believe it. Nut, Hazelnut, glad I finally made it here. Hello, Jake and crew. What's going on, Nut? Good to see you out there. One of the OGs has entered the chat. Does Pristine Auction do mystery boxes, and are they worth it? Are you talking about the ones that you can bid on through their site? They actually have mystery boxes, which you could have like a helmet and jersey or ball or something all in it. Yeah. As long as you're not like a diehard fan and you hate other teams and you're willing just to be open for the memorabilia side of things, then 100%. If you have like strict teams that you hate, I don't know if it's for you, because you may end up getting a piece from a team that you hate, and then what do? You know what I mean? Has everybody out there signed up for Pristine Auction? It's free. And they send you a $10 off coupon if you haven't done it yet. Just there's a link down below to that too. You head over to pristineauction.com, create a free account. They put into your account a free $10 off coupon off your first purchase. And then whenever you want to add something to your man cave or woman cave, you got $10 off it to use. I love Pristine Auction. We'll be dropping our video pretty soon, because I went out there and I toured their facilities and met with those guys for an entire afternoon. Had a great time. Pristine Auction, stand-up dudes over there. Great, great company. And they're the ones that hook us up with everything we give away. So we need to make sure we continue to show them some love. Yeah. Right there on the screen right now. Use code headliners. Fantasy championship content, 100% Omer. That's all we deal with over here. I'm not here trying to clickbait and, use a bunch of big names with some hot takes just so they get some clicks and some interactions. No. Like, I'm too old for that crap. I'm here just to relay some knowledge and some information, because I'm at that point in my life where I just want to win at everything. And I know you do too. So there we go. Are your listener leagues only going to be through Fantrax this year or on Sleeper? They're going to be on Fantrax, and that's a great question, but we're not going to be doing... It's going to be like more of a tournament, Gator fan. It's not going to be a best ball league. We're literally going to get as many teams as we can get. So if you head over to fantrax.com/headliners and create your free account there, you're going to be ready to go whenever we drop the listener leagues, because I don't know if it could be 300 teams, it could be 600 teams, it could be 1,000 teams. And we're going to create 12-team leagues, redraft leagues, with however many we can possibly fit in there. And we're going to have like a tournament style. By the time we hit to weeks 11, 12, 13, we start entering playoffs and going by point totals and crowning an overall champion and crowning champions of each division. I mean, it's going to be a huge tournament this year, all based on redraft. Last year was best ball, and I feel a lot of people kind of checked out a little bit because they're not setting lineups and making waiver claims and doing stuff like that. So we want to bring that back here this year. That's why we're going to have a huge, huge tournament. Is this football only, Tiger Man? Yes. We are 99.9%. I mean, we talk about beer. We talk about food. We talk about sports betting, mostly football, and all football content. Did I miss anything else, guys? Memorabilia. We do a lot of memorabilia stuff where I reveal like mystery boxes, stuff like that. How many NFL stadiums have I been to? Okay, so I've been Arizona. I've been to Atlanta, the new one. I've been to Washington. I've been to Cincinnati. I've been to the old school San Diego Chargers, which I believe was called like Qualcomm or something at the time. Thinking. Still thinking. I've never even been to a game here in Charlotte, though. Their ticket prices are crazy high here. I don't know why, for the team not being that great. I'm missing one. But what am I missing? Oh, Tennessee. I've been in Tennessee. So there's been 6 of them I've been to. We go somewhere new every year. I try to take my son on a road trip right around his birthday, and we go to a different stadium every year. I take him to a game. Kind of sucks that it's in season, but that's when his birthday is. Barkley will be a top 7 running back. Don't sleep. People have said that for a couple years, Don Queese, and just every year it doesn't happen. Nevermore, that's for sure. The 10-minute auctions are where it's at. If you guys can just like have a screen open with the 10-minute auctions on Pristine Auction all day long, you can get some crazy cheap things. I got my Jalen Waddle jersey on there and my Javonte Williams jersey. And I think I paid like $37 for each of them. on a 10-minute auction. Thought you went to the Vegas stadium. We were going to go to the Vegas stadium, but that was 2020 when the pandemic hit, so we didn't end up going to Vegas for the draft that year. You got to come and enjoy a game at Detroit. I would go. I'm pretty sure that Kyle's going to be at Week 1's game in Detroit this year. E-Man, sausage, egg, and cheese or bacon, egg, and cheese? I'm more of a sausage, egg, and cheese man myself, E-Man. Michael Foss, do you help with DraftKings in season? Content-wise, we won't put it out. But in our Discord has a channel based on just DFS. So they're always in there talking DFS picks and rosters and lineups and stuff all season long on our Discord. Are y'all going to be at the Expo this year? OEG, yes. We will be in Canton, Ohio, the weekend of August 15th. There's the Fantasy Football Expo there. I believe it's FF Expo, or maybe it's fantasyfootballexpo.com. That's happening mid-August. And yes, me, Kyle, the Lone Boner, Mac, our man behind the scenes, Taylor, and Dr. Ethan Turner are going to be in Ohio for that. Doesn't Kennedy do some IDP content? Won't be any videos on the show. Kyle will dabble at IDP stuff, but it's usually just on Discord. He's still around, David. I can't get rid of him. Vikings' new stadium is fire. It looks like it is. I would like to go see a game there for sure. You always wear a hat. Is your head manscaped? No. Well, I mean, I guess partially, but Manscaped. Thank you for dropping the plug there. Use code word headliners at checkout for 20% off and free shipping. Not just ball trimmers. Just don't ever use the lawnmower on your junk and then your face. It's weird. I may get to be in the booth with Jerry Jones and his son in Dallas this year. That would be fun. I once sat at a bar and had a drink with Ezekiel Elliott in Fort Worth in 2018 or 2019. Yeah, natural, right, Buck? That's for sure. It's God-given manscaping. All my videos are bangers. I appreciate that. Put a lot of work into them. I wish they were a little bit easier, but sometimes just doing it easy isn't what the people need, and I got to give what the people want. Hope Trevor Lawrence has developed this year because Urban Meyer was disastrous. I agree. I didn't see the growth, though, in Trevor Lawrence. I just didn't see that. I wanted to, but I saw more growth in Zach Wilson than I did in anyone else. Gregory Pett says my picks suck. That's funny. I guess when I told everybody that Cooper Kupp last year was a must-draft player, I guess that sucks. What's funny is Gregory literally hit subscribe to the channel just so he could leave a comment and then does that because he's an idiot. Jacksonville, only stadium that has a pool. That I did not know. I've been to baseball stadiums and would have pools. The Diamondbacks in Arizona have a pool in the outfield. Never been in the pool because it's crazy expensive. Mooney or Lockett? I got to go full Mooney. The target share alone. And they're going to be losing a lot in Chicago. They're going to have to throw the ball. It's going to be going to Darnell Mooney. I got to go full Mooney. Thoughts on Russell Gage? Huge season incoming. Now, by huge, don't over-exaggerate and say 1,500 yards and 10 touchdowns. Compared to where he's being drafted, huge incoming season because he's definitely a guy that it would not surprise me at the end of the year he has 1,000 yards and 7 touchdowns. And for a guy that you get in the double-digit rounds, I don't mind that whatsoever. The new Raider Stadium has a pool too. I mean, it's a pretty sweet stadium. It looks awesome. Do you trust any Seattle players? Chris, trust is a relative word, right? I mean, nobody early. I like Rashad Penny still, but that's only because I can get him in the double-digit rounds. I don't want him early because I still like Kenneth Walker, and we've seen Rashad Penny get hurt a lot. But if I can get him that late in drafts, I like it. I think DK Metcalf is a slight hair higher in my book than Tyler Lockett, especially if, I mean, whatever happens at quarterback. Drew Lock, Geno Smith, Baker Mayfield, it's just a bunch of question marks there, right? Chill Bruckets. Serious question. Has anyone ever confused you for Ram Man from Masters of the Universe? I don't even know what that is. I gotta Google it. Damn, Chill. I mean, dude is ripped. He's got big arms. He's always got some armor on, but I don't feel like I look like Ram Man, if that's what you're talking about. Dude have a neck? I mean, I got a neck. Damn. Appreciate you, Michael. Akers or Chubb? Give me Chubb. Chubb's not coming off of a torn Achilles. That worries me a little bit. Percent chance Geno Smith starts at quarterback for the Seahawks week 1. 50. Nut. I know I hate to give that answer, but Lock, Geno, 50-50. I mean, if I had to guess, it's Drew Lock, but it's super close. Javonte or A.J. Dillon? I'm going with Javonte Williams still. I think A.J. Dillon sees solid work this year, but his ceiling may not be quite as high because of Aaron Jones being more the big play guy there. Brian AJC just dropping those 3 dots just continually like clockwork. You answering that question gave me Chubb. That is not something I want to see a picture of. All right, I've been live for an hour and 20 minutes. We got like 10 more minutes. Anybody have any questions non-football related we want to talk? Like, what else we want to talk about? Like, what do we want to do for the next 10 minutes or so? I got to go eat dinner after that. I don't get this manly physique by not eating dinner, okay? I got to have some dinner. Is James Conner underrated? Good offense. What is his competition? Underrated? No, because Darrell Williams has been signed by the Arizona Cardinals, and Darrell Williams is a very capable backup running back. We saw him last year in Kansas City with no CEH, and he really produced, especially in the passing game. So I think that Darrell Williams is a very capable backup that kind of keeps... Now, I still think James Conner is the lead guy, don't get me wrong there, but I think that it just takes away a little bit of that ceiling. Adam, how was my day? My day was good. I appreciate you asking. How was your day? Richard wants to know what you do for work. This is my job, Richard. I am a 40-year-old YouTuber that talks about fantasy football for a living. I guess you could say I'm a business owner because I actually turned this into a business. Pet cat or dog? 100% dog, Buck. I'm allergic to cats. How did I meet Kyle? On the internet, on Twitter. And I invited him on my show. I asked him if he had crabs. He looked mortified at the time because he was very professional back then. And then the company he was with asked me to come over there and help start their YouTube channel. I got them to 10,000 subscribers in one season. They refused to hardly pay me any money, so I left and just brought Kyle over here with me. How are you guys expanding the channel at some capacity? I think just by being able to go out and do more things, right? Like, we're not just solely, I don't want to be just guys that sit behind a desk and just talk. Like, I want to go out and do things, but in order to go out and do things, it's expensive. For us to go to a Pristine auction, I had to pay like $1,800 to fly out Kyle and stay at a hotel and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's the kind of stuff costs money, but I think it adds another dimension to the content, and then just continually trying to upgrade the production quality of the show, graphics, design, stuff like that, make it more visually appealing is always going to be something we look for. Michael Foss says he found a phone charger. What's up again, mother? Does pineapple belong on pizza? Michael, it does not. What is your favorite restaurant in Arizona, and what town are you from? I was born in Phoenix. My favorite restaurant, I mean, I don't get good Mexican food in North Carolina, so I miss the Mexican food a lot. Dude, I am a sucker for a drive-through Arizona burrito from Filiberto's anytime I can get it. Maybe that's just reliving my high school days. Love that. See what else. I went to a place called Mikhail's was good. Don Rubens was good. What else is there? It's all Mexican food. Because anytime I go out there, that's all I have because I can't get good Mexican food in North Carolina. Greg, you're not a comedian. What a... And your picks still suck. Yeah, Greg out there, an old man taking selfies, commenting on YouTube videos. Sounds like a real winner. Did he have crabs? At the time, we were talking about Michael Crabtree, and he very well could have. He was very, very professional back then. Like, the stuff he does now, that was not Kyle 4 years ago. Very by the book, had a schedule and followed it and was very professional. And within like 3 minutes of meeting the guy, I literally asked him if he had crabs. And he lost all sense of, the show. Father's Day was good. Appreciate it, Kenny. Honestly, being a full-time fantasy football content producer seems pretty sweet. It is. I can't lie. I love it. It is a dream job. It's not something that I ever anticipated on doing, but it just worked out that way. God works in mysterious ways. The doors were opened, and I just happened to walk right through it. You're missing a Herbert jersey back there, Jay? Jay, do you even know me? Jay, do you know this channel? I'm missing a Herbert jersey. I literally Can I turn it? Can I change my camera view? Yeah, I can. Let me do this. Jay, I have a full-size signed authentic Justin Herbert helmet right there. Right there. I actually have another one in that corner that we're going to be giving away to somebody at some point. So, gotcha. And we're back. Come to Super Bowl 57 in Glendale this year. It's not this year, though. It's next year, right? 2024, technically, February of 24. And I plan on being there. What's for dinner? No idea. Whatever my wife makes, I will eat it. Randy knows. Randy Gibson, he has a helmet. See? Randy, high five. You know what I have in the background of my room. That is impressive. Still hot as hell. It's definitely hot there. You keep it real, man. Don't ever sell yourself short. You got the right energy for this kind of content. Been a fan for years. Keep it rolling. Joe, appreciate you. Just being myself. Just trying to be myself. I found that trying to pretend to be something that you're not is just a way to not be happy in life. You can have all the money and whatever you have in the world, but if you're not yourself, it feels like you're kind of faking it, right? So I just got to come in out here and be myself every single day. That's what it's all about. That's happiness right there. Ron says he's having thick pork chops and rice for dinner. I'm a little bit offended that he even had to put in the thick pork chops. Like, why couldn't you just say pork chops and rice? Like, he had to accentuate the thickness of his pork chops. Ron out there measuring the thickness of his meat on the internet. Buck, what's my favorite TV show right now? I don't watch a lot of TV. Completely honest. I don't watch a lot of TV. We just got done as a family. We watched the Obi-Wan series on Disney+. That's like the last thing I've watched on TV. I have a full-size Emmitt Smith helmet, you treasure, that's autographed. Anton, pretty sweet. Was a conductor on the Verde Canyon Railroad in Clarkdale, Arizona. Nice. Joseph, thanks to you guys, I was able to get my first championship last season, going for a two-peat. Is it a two-peat or is it a repeat, Joseph? I'm pretty sure it's a repeat, and we're going to get it. Do I have kids? Yes, 2 kids. 1 boy, 1 girl. Give us some life advice that can also pertain to fantasy football. Let's see. Let me think. Life advice that you can add into fantasy football. I guess, how about trust your gut? A lot of times I think people avoid great situations because they're scared of change or they're scared of something that, you know, they don't know the outcome. Like for me, that happens in fantasy football, right? You're hoping by making a selection of a player. But in my case, I moved across country. I was a lead engineer for a Fortune 500 company, and I moved my family from Arizona to North Carolina for that job. And then after doing that job for almost 10 years, for 9 years, I chose to walk away from a career job to do this full time and take a pay cut doing it at the time. But it's because I believed in the community, right? So you kind of do the same type of thing, right? You're taking a shot on a player because you believe in the outcome of it. So, I mean, that's right off the top of my head, the first thing I can think of. Could not agree more. There's so many fakers. I have great authentic Mexican food in there. But I'm married to a beautiful Mexican. Oh, well, see there, Tiger, that's a different story. Steven, Jake, I counted 282 times you guys said Binky on your last episode. May I have a draft guide? I love the draft guide I bought last year. Did you comment on that video, Steven? Because I think we're getting ready to give away more draft guides. And maybe you'll be one of those winners. Canwar USA Walla. Headliners, great show. I'm in a 2-quarterback redraft 3-keeper league. I'm keeping Kupp in the 5th, Deebo in the 10th. Oh my gosh. Oh, who should be my 3rd keeper? Eckler in the 2nd, Burrow in the 6th, Pollard in the 16th. Dude, it's Austin Eckler in the 2nd. That means you're going to have Eckler, Kupp, and Deebo. Bam. I love that. Eckler, Kupp, and Deebo. Sure, you won't have a 2nd-round pick, but you're still going to keep your 1st, 3rd, and 4th. Love it. Love it. I'm so sad that the fantasy draft falls on my anniversary weekend. I won't be able to draft in person. I'll have to set and do it automatically. That does suck, Joseph, but it is your anniversary weekend. So it would really probably suck more by blowing off the anniversary weekend for a fantasy football draft. I can't see that playing out very well. Appreciate it, Sapper. Steve, go eat dinner, man, even if it's not thick pork chops. Am I a truck man? Yes, I have a truck. When I quit my job, I don't know if you guys care about this or not. When I quit my job to do this full time, as a family, we decided to sell pretty much everything except for our house, and we refinanced that. Got rid of my truck, got rid of my camper, got rid of all my toys, anything I had, I got rid of all of it. And I told myself that if it was meant to be for me to do this full time, I'll be able to rebuy that stuff at some point. And after last season, and as successful as we were last season, I was able to rebuy my truck last year. Still other things we're waiting for, but a little bit at a time. A little bit at a time. I'm always been the guy to bet on myself. That's just how I'm wired. I feel like I could do anything that I set my mind to. Just a mentality. Except for bowling. I suck at bowling. No matter how hard I try. Appreciate it, Richard and Jeremy. You have Jefferson as a 12th round keeper. Final year as my keeper. I love that nut. In the 12th round. Love it. I'm built different. Adam, are you calling me fat? Is that what this is? Am I opening up my heart to you and you calling me fat? I'm just messing with you. I know what you mean. I appreciate it. Already have a Fantrax account. Anything else I need to do to get into the leagues? Nope. Gator, as long as you have that account set up, we'll drop links and tell everybody in shows, the community tab, so that everybody sees it. So as long as you're set up, once those links drop, you'll be good to go. I got to do more live shows. You can't never make them for some reason. I would love to do this every single week at some point. My problem is I can't seem to find a day that I can commit to. A lot of it's had to do with traveling or the draft guide, but that's going to be gone or ended in July. So I'd like to do more of these. It's just I wish I could tell you guys what day and time, just whenever I have a little bit of time. It's been an hour and a half, but maybe if you pound down too many thick pork chops. Come on, Adam. Can you explain to the new guy how this works? Which part, Tiger? Seriously love the growth of this channel. I started watching in 2018. I've gotten better each year. I've watched this year will be my time to finally win. Absolutely. Alan, what type of engineer were you? I was a operational engineer, which means I did everything from mechanical to chillers and compressors and pumps to and electrical systems, generators, stuff like that. I ran the main data center here for a company. I was one of the lead engineers for it. You guys are number one. Thanks for the backstory. Very inspirational. I'm glad I could share. This is why I like to do things that aren't just football related, right? I want to learn more about you guys too. I mean, this is a community feel. This is not just Jake and Kyle and the doc or whoever else is on a show, running everything. We want to make sure you guys are involved in it as well. If you were to make an all-time fantasy team, current and past players, who would you draft? That is tough. One person that I always did, I never didn't draft Calvin Johnson when he was playing. Like every year, no matter what, it was just the guy. That was my guy. So Calvin Johnson would definitely have to be on that list. Larry Fitzgerald was another name. A lot of that has to do with growing up in Arizona. But yeah. That's tough. I'd have to sit back and look over the names for the last 20 years or so of playing. Where are we located? I'm in North Carolina. Kyle's in Indiana. Everybody's scattered all throughout the country. Me, the lone boner, and our behind-the-scenes guy Taylor are all here in North Carolina. Bye, Randy. What's up, Johnny? All right. I said 10 minutes 17 minutes ago. 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes. 5 minutos. What website will you use to play fantasy? Will you use to play fantasy in the early times? I think the very first site that I can remember playing on, I think was CBS, way back in the day. What's the earliest I'm taking a quarterback, Alan? I try to wait till that round 7 to 10 range or so. That's kind of the sweet spot that I found. 24 nut. I think you got me by, I want to say that I started right after I graduated high school. And I was class of 99. So it had to be right around 99, 2000 when I started. So, I mean, that would be 22 years or so for me, 22 to 23. Peace out, Nevermore. Have a good one. Megatron was always your number one too, Greg. Well, then your picks suck, Greg. Because that was my pick. So if your pick was the same as mine, I guess both of our picks suck, right? Why is Alvin Kamara so low this year? He's going to win MVP. It's because he has a pending assault charge off the field, and nobody knows if he's going to be suspended or not yet. AOL days, Jay, ain't that for sure? The dong, 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 but ding, ding. Yeah, totally. You've got mail. Do you still play fantasy? And if so, do you do punishments? Full disclosure, I play a lot less fantasy football now than I ever used to. I used to have, I think at a minimum 5 leagues, but now I'm down to 2 or 3. One of them is the Scott Fish Bowl, which is an industry league that I do because I get invited every year. But I mean, I don't play a whole. I find myself spending so much time giving everybody information that I don't ever have time to set my own lineups and make my own waiver claims and do my own trades and all that kind of stuff. So honestly, my fantasy days are nothing like what they used to be. As for punishments, not really, but me and Kyle are kicking around doing some punishments based off of who gets more players right this year in our start sit videos. That's something we're tossing around. Oh, now Greg says to let it go, big dog. Said I was just kidding. LKB Pythons, appreciate it. My wife is throwing her hat in our league for the first time. One tip for her: You guys rock. So give her one tip. Is that what you're asking for here? Don't believe anything that these guys are telling you, because they're trying to confuse you. They want you to think that you may have a good pick, and like I'm thinking about this, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, that's a dumb pick. I wouldn't do that." Trust your gut. Just trust it. Do a little bit of research. Follow our videos all throughout the year, and you'll be good. Don't remember, dudes don't like to lose at anything. And let's be honest here. When it comes to fantasy football, a lot of dudes they just couldn't handle losing to a female. So they're gonna do whatever they can to lie, because they want you to finish last. I don't want you to finish last. So don't finish last. Watch some videos this year. Hit the little bell notification, and we got you taken care of. LKB Python's wife. He didn't mention what your name is, but we got you covered. A run down the middle. Ray versus Henry, who wins? So you're talking about probably Ray Lewis, I would imagine. I will take Derrick Henry right there. Derrick Henry is just built different. And when you think about it, a run down the middle from a middle linebacker position, he's not going to be going as full speed as Derrick Henry. He's going to get caught a little bit more flat-footed and try to make a tackle. Now, if we're just going all-out speed, I wouldn't recommend that to anybody, because that would be like a car accident. But in the game of football, a run up the middle, one-on-one Henry versus Lewis, I'll take Henry right there. That dude is just built different. That's a massive human being that moves very fast. Are you going to do backfields that cause baldness segment this year? I might do that, OEG. What's going on, Jeremy? I never finished last. Worst was 6th out of 10. Not bad. Griffin, how do I feel about Dameon Pierce? As a player, I don't mind Dameon Pierce whatsoever. In the situation in Houston, I don't love it. I mean, they got like 16 running backs there that all suck, right? They're like battling for who sucks less. They got Marlon Mack, Rex Burkhead, Royce Freeman. Who else am I forgetting? And Dameon Pierce will be there. It's just, they're not going to be a team that's winning a lot. I love the talent of Dameon Pierce. I hate the landing spot. All right. Any last minute shout outs here? Let's see what we got. Had to close my Master of the Universe picture. Few more shout outs here. Omar Rubio. Then we got Tariq Royster. I see you out there, Tariq. Sheena Henry. Awesome. Thank you very much for the support. You have now gained a head up on your competition. Shout out to my boy, Rocky Cena. Thanks for the welcome today, Tiger. Glad to have you in the community. Hopefully you stick around. What's on the docket for dinner? I heard him talking, and I think it's like homemade, like a big old thing of nachos. And if it is, I'm going to destroy those nachos. It may not be, though. Like, I don't know. I can barely hear faint voices. But it could be some form of nachos, hazelnut. Like loaded. I'm not talking about chips and cheese. I'm talking like loaded nachos. Can I shout out your friend Hugh Janis? What up, Hugh? I had to think about that for a second, because a lot of times you start the name Hugh and it ends up with something else at the end of it. And I wanted to make sure I wasn't going to shout out something inappropriate. Barbecue chicken alert. Shout out to Kyle's gaming controller for suffering such abuse. Ain't that the truth, Jordana? It may be busted at this point. I say thick and you say big and loaded. Ron, we're like a match made in heaven, Ron. Together we have the ultimate dinner. Thank you for the live chat and the time and effort y'all put into Headliner Nation. Appreciate you. Could you shout out Phil I'll say McRevis because I'm not going to say it the other way. Would you feel comfortable drafting Connor and Patterson? James Conner, Cordero Patterson? I mean, I'm not against it. Shout out to Kyle's graying beard. I got to screenshot that because I'm sure he doesn't want to. Who said that? Anton. I love it. I'm taking a picture of it right now, Anton, so Kyle can see it. See, when you got a graying beard, you just have to embrace it, right? Like this used to be, before y'all, before this community, this was darker. Like this was a lot darker. This was a lot thicker up here. Y'all have stressed me out over 6 years and have caused me to age quickly. Not saying that one, nut. Can I shout out my fan league? Your fan league. Who's my fan league? Shout out to the fan league. I don't know. Hopefully they're a fan of us. All right. It's all Kyle's fault. That is something you can probably ask Kyle. If anything ever goes wrong, I always blame Kyle. Even if it's not his fault. Still got to blame Kyle. Kyle texted me a little bit ago and said his power went out. I don't even know if dude's got power right now. Kenny, this was awesome. Jake, thanks for the time. Shout out too for Headline Nation. Appreciate you guys. Absolutely. All right. I'm going to go ahead. Did anybody win Kyle's YouTube plaque? That's going to happen, right? So we hit the like goal, but part of that G money was all of us on the team are going to sign it, but we don't all see each other until Ohio in August. So when we're at the Fantasy Football Expo, we're going to sign, autograph it, and give away Kyle's YouTube plaque because you guys hit the like goal on that video. But if you could do me a favor, if you haven't hit the like button already, please do so. It does help us out here dramatically on YouTube, especially in the off season. If you haven't gotten your draft guide yet, it's available for pre-order down below, link down below. And then you'll get in on the giveaway for the signed Deebo Samuel helmet. Looking forward to giving that away here end of the month. But it was fun. It was fun hanging out with you guys for an hour and 47 minutes. Not something we get to do very often, but I'd like to do a little bit more frequently. If it's something that you think that it would be beneficial, that you want to do more often, leave those comments down below and say, guys, we need live streams. And then we'll find a way to make them happen. So hopefully you guys have a great rest of your night, a great weekend here coming up. I'm going to go back to doing some more research. No, I'm not going to watch the NBA draft. I'm going to eat some nachos and do some research, make some graphics for tomorrow's show. Because tomorrow's show, I hope people watch tomorrow's show. Because tomorrow's show is going to be like an eye-opener to those that just don't want to admit to running back early being a good strategy. Dropping massive knowledge tomorrow. So make sure you check out that video. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your night, though. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here for the day. And go hang out with the family for a few hours. So hope you guys have a great rest of your night, great week. We'll talk to you later.